your voice also. discipline, resourceful. Okay? Yes? And he is the best to hear a wonderful lecture. Okay? Note it down. Whatever points
Uncle is talking to me. He's like, I don't want to say.
A very good morning to one and all present here. On behalf of University Law College and the Department of Studies in Law, Bangalore University, I extend a warm and vibrant welcome to each one of you to this very special program dedicated to the profound and enduring tradition of jurisprudence. I am Devika Pranati Banari, a student of third year BLLB Honors. It is both honor and privilege to serve as the master of ceremony for today's program. The theme for today's gathering is contemporary relevance of Hindu jurisprudence. In a rapidly evolving legal world, it becomes even more essential to revisit our roots and to understand how ancient school of thought continued to guide and shape modern legal ideologies. Hindu jurisprudence, with its deeply philosophical yet practical foundation, offers a timeless lens through which justice, duty, and societal harmony can be examined. As we begin this journey of reflection and rediscovery, let us remember Dharma is not just ancient, it is eternal. Jurisprudence is not just theory, it is our guide. We look forward for a day filled with inspiration and knowledge. We look forward for a day filled with inspiration and knowledge. To begin this enlightening day with positive energy and blessing, I now invite Saksha from third year to lead us in prayer.
महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि वसिष्ठवामदेवातिवन्दित महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि वसिष्ठवामदेवातिवन्दित महागणपतिम्.
Thank you, Saksha, for that soulful prayer. To formally welcome our distinguished guests, respected faculty and fellow students, I now invite faculty coordinator of this event, Professor Dr. Jyoti Vishwanath Ma'am, University Law College and Bangalore University. Please.
Thank you, Devika. Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, a warm and Saturday good morning to all. Today we are here to listen to a lecture on contemporary relevance of Hindu jurisprudence. Friends, the moment we all, most of us, come across the term jurisprudence, a sense of cold chill runs through our spines. Most of us, our law students, have a nightmare, and that is jurisprudence. That is the subject. I think jurisprudence has been the most dreadful subject throughout the years for all of us. But after all, a closer look will falsify our fears. Jurisprudence is, after all, a science, a study, an analysis of law. We all have to refer to jurisprudence anytime, all time, as it consists of rules which keep us grounded. Today we all have gathered here to understand the origin and contribution of Hindu jurisprudence. The term Hindu does not here stricto sensu refers to the Hindu religion. Rather, it refers to the Indian jurisprudence. Today in the modern day, when we are confronted with so many value and cultural conflicts in our families, marriages, societies, workplaces, and the national scene at large, we need to understand the relevance of Hindu jurisprudence is becoming all the more needful and inevitable. With these few words, I welcome our chief guest for the today's program and the resource person, Professor Dr. C.A. Gurudat, Director, School of Law, Jain University, Bangalore. Thank you, sir. I also welcome the guest of honor of today's program, Sri M. Lakshmi Narayana, IAS, former Additional Secretary to CM Trustee, Vishnaneshwara Pratisthana Trust, Marthur District, Kalburgi, Karnataka. We also have many other esteemed guests. I also welcome Sri K.R. Sridhar, ISKCON Akshay Patra, retired financial head, who is with us for this program. I also welcome Sri F. Ramesh, the retired officer from State Bank of India. I take this opportunity to welcome our beloved chairman, Dr. N. Satish Kaura, University Law College, Bangalore. I also welcome our beloved Dean in absentia, Dr. V. Sudesh. For some reasons, he is busy, so he could not make it to the program. I welcome Dr. V. Sudesh sir also. I also welcome our beloved principal, Professor Dr. N. Dasharath, who is presiding over this program, Principal, University Law College, Department of Studies in Law, Bangalore, University, Bangalore. I welcome my colleague C.K.L. Chandrakanti in her absentia. I also welcome my deputy coordinator, Prasanna Kumar sir, who is there on the dais. Welcome to the program, sir. I also welcome the members of the syndicate, academic council, teachers, non-teaching staff, research scholars, undergraduate students, postgraduate students, who all have assembled here in the morning to listen to sir about the relevance and contribution of Hindu jurisprudence. Welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. To mark the beginning of today's program, I now request all our esteemed guests to come forward and take part in ceremonial watering of the plant. It is indeed a moment of great pride and honor to have with us our chief guest professor, Dr. C.A. Gurudutt, sir. Sir, we are truly privileged to have you with us here today. To introduce our chief guest, I now invite Sushma, a student of third year BLLB honors. Over to you, Sushma.
Thank you, Pranati. Good morning to one and all. I, Sushma Sim, student of third year. It's indeed a great honor and privilege to introduce the distinguished chief guest of this occasion. Professor Dr. Gurudutt Chilkunda is a senior academician of high reputation. He has been teaching law for the past 40 years. He is a PhD holder in law and has to his credit LLM, MA in political science and MBA from Mysore University. His specialization is in constitutional law, personal laws, gender laws, interpretation and law and social transformation. Started his teaching career as a lecturer in 1985 and became a reader and professor. His research experience includes publication of research papers in reputed journals and participation in national and international conferences and seminars in different capacities. He has 2 books in his authorship. Professor has executed a funded research project for Government of India through NLSIU, Bangalore. He has successfully guided candidates for PhD program and evaluated PhD theses from different universities, including foreign universities. He has served prestigious institutions and universities at different parts of India with coveted positions. He held the position like principal, academic advisor, dean, director, controller of examinations, pro vice chancellor, and and Vice Chancellor. He has delivered special lectures at many prestigious universities and institutions, also served as visiting professor. Professor has traveled abroad on academic assignments and association with international institutions. He was specially invited by Kerala Foundation and Tribhuvan University, Nepal, to give his recommendation regarding Constitution of Nepal during the time of constitutional crisis. Professor Gurudat has rich experience in building institutions and structuring curriculum and pedagogy for legal studies. He is adept in organizing national and international academic events like seminars and conferences. He has taken part in debates and panel discussions in electronic media. He is much sought after as a resource person for academic development programs across the country. He has associated with prestigious universities in different capacities like chairman and member of policy making bodies like Academic Council, Board of Management, Governing Council, Board of Studies, Board of Examination, Research Cell, etc. Professor is a senior musician in Carnatic classical music. He is a platform artist for the past 5 decades and trained for about a dozen of disciplines of national level. He is passionate to nurture the next generation of law teachers to enrich legal education. At present, he is associated with prestigious Jain, deemed to be University, Bangalore, Karnataka, as it's a Dean and Director of Faculty of Law. I now humbly invite you, sir, to address this esteemed gathering and share your valuable thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for your good words. I do not know to what extent I deserve those compliments. Anyhow, I have tried my level best to serve the society or opportunities sincerely. Dear friend, Professor Dashat sir, Satish Gowda, Professor Satish Gowda, Chairman, and Lakshminarayan sir, Prasanna Kumar, Jyoti madam, Sridhar, Ramesh, all friends, colleagues, and my beloved student friends. It is always a great pleasure to share my experience, my exposure with the young, aspiring, budding lawyers. Dear friends, now I am not going to indoctrinate anything. My experiences has taught me that when we look at a thing with bias, whatever experience we gain, it suits our taste. Or either we accept it or reject it, only two things. When we get into the turf with open mind, keeping the eyes and ears open, experience will be different. So, at the outset, I make a plea to one and all here to share the things with open mind. He cannot say Hindu jurisprudence is the greatest one across the globe. And see, there are features, there are things, there are facts, there are values which are universal in nature. And any legal system or any societal system is an outcome of that society and that societal values. In that perspective, if we take, we normally divide the entire jurisprudence to East and West. Eastern and West. I will take up that next. In continuation with my first statement, I would like to remember Kalidasa. Kalidasa Madhavikatmi Mitra. And he said he was there in 4th and 5th century, I believe. Right. What he says? For anything, Purana mityeva nasadu sarvam. Anything just happened to be old, not necessarily be true. Similarly, something new, not necessarily be bad. He says, Purana mityeva nasadu sarvam, nachapi kavyam navam iti avadhyam. But what happens? Santaha, a person with brain, he will accept parikshat anyatra dhantate. Person with brain, who has got wisdom, he accepts only after verification. Mudaha, a person having no brain, he simply accepts whatever is being told by elders or what is being something old. When he said that, he was there in 4th century. Just imagine how many years. This was the philosophy we had then. Never we indoctrinate, never we go and we impose the things upon others. That is one of the reasons why even today India, nourishes multiculturalism. Everything is interrelated. My dear friends, how we start? Normally we start with Vishanti mantra. Of course, at this point of time, I should remember Justice Ramajoy's, his very beloved Shanti mantra. Always he used to chant that in sabhas, kind of things. What is that? You know it very well. Sarve jana, sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve bhavantu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhagave. When, sir? It is Upanishad, Brihadaranya Upanishad. Not 1 or 2 centuries old, not 1 or 2 decades old, not 1 or 2 centuries. Some 2000, 3000 years before, the part of Veda, they said. What is the meaning of that? May all beings, not just limited to human beings, all beings should be at peace. Not only that, may no one suffer from illness. Then may all see that what is auspicious and no one shall suffer. Ultimately, Om Shanti Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Of course, today what we want, the entire globe wants that. Entire globe, especially common man like me and you, we are looking at one thing. I don't know whether it's an illusion or dream, I don't know. Shanti, Shanti, we want peace, we want peace, we want peace. Even a person shot dead, a child shot dead, or died because of bomb blast, somewhere in Palestine or Iraq or Iran or Russia, Ukraine or whatever it is, we feel bad. Why? If some environmental disaster happens somewhere else, we feel bad. Why? Because so-called Hindu jurisprudence, I come to that point, Madam has already made it very clear. There is an argument, why to call it Hindu jurisprudence, why not to call it Indian jurisprudence. These kind of arguments are there. For our study purpose, no problem if we confine ourselves to call it Hindu jurisprudence, no problem. For the purpose of study. That's another argument, we can discuss that in some other platform. Anyway, what is that? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That is a part, there is a full shloka, I don't want to tell the whole thing. Vasudhaiva, the entire universe is one family. The jurisprudence starts there. Of course, deliberately I avoided to define jurisprudence and kind of things, because being the students of law, you know it very well. It's a science of law. Right? Madam, I beg to differ on one thing. So normally students feel it's a very tough nut to crack. To my experience, it's the easiest thing because that is part and parcel of our life and brain. Reason I tell you, I come to that point and next time. Okay, there the things start. Next, before getting to the next stage, I find in my duty if I do not acknowledge Mr. Mahadevaya and his efforts to bring me here. And he is working selflessly for the cause of Mitakshara Trust at Martur. Of course, I visited that in 2000, I believe. Sir, Kutino was the Vice Chancellor at that point of time, Gulbarga University. J.S. Patil was the chairman. They conducted one international conference where I presented a paper on Rajadharma, where Justice Rama Joyce was there. I cited the same shloka and the responsibility of the king to protect his territory, and heavily criticized the national anthem decision, the Supreme Court. You cannot compel a person to, recite or sing national anthem. That decision is given according to the fundamental, that kind of things. So I opposed that, criticized that. Rama Joyce personally came and complimented me at that point of time. And he took all of us to that place, Vijnaneshwara. Why I am specifically calling him? For the reason we do not know. I don't think majority here, you have not heard of that place. In Karnataka, Martur, Gulbarga, if possible, so instead of visiting some malls here, I think it's overnight journey. Take a try, go there. If we request our friends, they can make some arrangements also. Stay there for at least for 4 or 5 hours. Come back. Then you will feel the strength of that. It is something totally different. Friends, to understand this, there is a myth. What is that? Sir, one should know Sanskrit, sir, otherwise it is not possible to understand these texts. It is true to some extent. Second myth. Sir, this is Sanskrit, Pali and languages, it is reserved and is being kept away. Only the upper class of the society and others do not have access. False. Why I tell you? Let me be very brief on this point. If you look at the history, these texts have been brought out, written by the persons coming from different classes. Point number 1. Point number 2. Fortunately, we do have translated versions. We are very happy. If we get one translated version. Just you read Justice Rama Joyce on Legal and Constitutional History of India. It is in 2 volumes. That is volume 1. A great contribution to this Hindu students. Then, how many of you have heard of P.V. Kane? Panduranga Vamana Kane? See, if I ask, how many of you know Bentham, Austin, sir, come on, Chiri, sir. Law is the command of the sovereign. It has got habitual obedience, find the with their sanction. Pat. Kelson, pure Chiri, sir. Heart, concept of law, sir. Bentham, everything we tell. P.V. Kane? In Kannada we say, Kane, sir. Full name Panduranga Vamana Kane. My teacher, Dr. C.K. Raja, in 1983, I distinctly remember, I think it was in second class, 11, second class. He did not teach the subject directly. His way of teaching something unique. He said, he was there at Pune. I think with the help of someone, he visited the residence of P.V. Kane. And he went there inside that his study room. He saw the chair, it's a wooden chair. In a wooden chair, his print was there. How many hours he must have sat there and written the entire kind of thing. That point of 1940s, 50s, not the electronic age. Go type something, press the memory, and again go to next page, Go for no, everything handwritten. The script piled like a mutton, kind of thing. He said, I just went prostrated before that for 5 minutes. It was a meditation kind of thing. Panduranga Vamana Kane. Okay? It is in volume History of Dharma Shastras. Please. Then he told, I know, my dear students, you are not going to study that and you are immature to understand that. The first exercise I give you all is, go to the library today. It is there in the track. They told the number also. Just dust it once, do your namaskaram and come. That is sufficient. Great teacher. We went, saw that. Take out a volume. Why sir told like that? Once you open that, if you are weak, heart attack is guaranteed. You just see his reference one, index ones. Index itself is a volume. How he worked, we do not know. For account, we come across for about 40 Smritikaras. Okay? Each and everything he has dealt with. Along with that, the modern case laws. This one, Panduranga Vamana Kane. I think it is there in your library, sir? You do have. I think after listening to me, they will go and see that once. Second one. You cannot afford to forget Max Muller, a German scholar. Has authoritative work as an editor, Sacred Books of the East. It is in 50 volumes. 50 volumes. Not one or two. Look, a shame on our part. Means Indians' part. We claim a lot of glory, this and that, past, sir, this, that, sir. What is that you have done? Look, a German had to come. He came here for some other job. He learned Sanskrit at that age, learned Pali. Started doing the thing. He took the help of many other scholars, not one or two, dozens together, to quote one or two, Bueller, Julius Jolly, Bo Wilson. Excellent. It is not just limited to Hindu jurisprudence. They have referred Islam, Buddhism, Sikhism, all Confucianism even. You can just see that. It may be in the library. Sacred Books of the East. Then Indian authors like Rajkumar Sarvajikari, Altaker, Vasu. No depth for literature, but this literature, all this literature came into being after 1700. Huge gap was there between 1100 and up to 1700. Why? Now I go back. When you look at this Hindu jurisprudence, normally we classify that into 4 stages. First, pre-Vedic, Vedic, post-Vedic, and modern. This is gross classification. It is believed that Vedic period was there somewhere around 4000, 5000 BC. And according to Puranas, we classify that into 4 yugas. Okay, fine. Satyuga, Krita Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, like that. We go for yugas also. In Krita Yuga, there was no law, no king, because all people they knew what their duty was, and there is no necessity to have law at all. A modern jurist says, when you need law for 2 reasons. One, when there is break of law, or when there is likelihood of breaking the law. See, this is a little difficult to understand. Why you need law? You need law because when a person is going to break law and likelihood of breaking the law. Fine, sir, that situation was not there at all. Then Yuga Dharma started. Next Yuga, people started deviating from their duties. Then in Purana they say, then God said, okay, Indra, it is your duty. Go compile some laws and send that. Something it comes like that. In Vedic literature, you may not get the entire code of law. We get some statement, we call the aphorisms of law. Like maybe we call that Satyameva Jagate. Satyam Vada, Priyam Vada, Navada Satyam Priyam. There are more Rakshita like that. I come to these points afterwards when I take up Dharma. Okay, fine. Afterwards, if you come to next year, Smriti period. Shruti something heard. Yes, students who have already studied Hindu law, family law you call it, family law 1. That you must have studied this, Smriti is something being remembered, Shruti is something heard. Then you come to the next day, commentation, just like that you classify, right? That is the most fertile period. First Shrutis, then you come to Smritis. Almost that from 4th century to 11th century, that will come. Great. Yes, Parashara is appeared to be the first Smritikara. From that, around 40 Smritikaras have been identified, and many texts are not available for the reason we are very bad in preserving the literature. Indians as such are very bad in preserving the literature. Even today we have got the tendency. If you ask me where are your papers, authored by me, my papers are not available with me. The tendency is there. Of course, a caution also. We should not do that, right? We did not preserve. One, we did not preserve. Another one, the biggest problem, the 11th century invasion of invaders, Of course, India was under the rule of aliens. We should call them aliens only. Okay, fine. Means the person not from this land. That's the theory there. The ruler imposes his law. That's a very natural kind of thing. Therefore, what I would like to call that a period of eclipse. For about 8 to 9 centuries, eclipse. No, world forgotten, no did not come, and people were under confusion. Afterwards, modern time, what happens? Here, we brought so-called social laws, secular laws, codes, statutes, and kind of thing. Very natural, I'm not calling that bad. Are they based on local culture? Because if you refer Friedman, he says in his Law in the Making, any law should be outcome of that society. When you say that society respects, practices some values which are inherent in nature. If the laws do not reflect those values, then law will be misfit. That cannot survive. Maybe one of the reasons why we do have, even today, we are facing so many litigations for everything. I come to that point later on. Okay, friends, again let me revisit this Smriti period. Gautama, Parashara, Brahaspati, Katyayana. Okay, fine. Then Vijnaneshwara, and most debated controversial text Manu. Okay, some 3-4 days back, I was listening to one lecture on Manusmriti. It is available in YouTube. If you cannot, please visit that. There is one gentleman, scholar. He is Vinava Saraswati. I have not seen in my life a person like him. Shatavadhani Ganesh. Have you heard of his name? Huh? How many of you? Oh, very good. You should know. Sir and dear madam, you cannot concentrate one lecture for 40 minutes, 50 minutes delivered by one teacher, right? He will be having 100 persons around him from different backgrounds. They go on asking the questions, he answers to all those questions. Shatavadhana. Big art. Please. Go and see. You search a lot of things in YouTube and Google, right? Search for this. Just go and go. Shatavadhana. What a kind of rich science we had in the past. Even today we do have. Yeah, a scientific approach is required for that. And see the capacity of our brain there. Shatavadhana. And Ganesha, he was the exclusive lecture for 4 sessions. Then he said, of course, don't take it literally. I'm not here to create any controversy. I'm just sharing. In a later he said, look sir, the moment we say, we get one shouting, Manuvadis, he is a Manuvadi, throw him out of the nation. And the writing, ನಮಗೆ ಮನುವಾದ ಬೇಡ, ಮಾನವವಾದ ಬೇಕು. Then he says, Manu is Manava, Manava is Manu. Sanskrit meaning is that if you say Manuvada is not required, Manavavada is there, where is Manavada? Manavada means Manuvada only. That is one theory. Second, he says, go back to my first statement. What is that? First, if you are intelligent, study that. Come to your conclusion. I have encountered this with my friends, student friends also. They have not studied even one page of Dr. Ambedkar. They come and start delivering the lecture stating that they have digested the entire Ambedkar. I give the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the greatest brain, greatest intellectual of 20th century. Nobody can dispute that. His contribution, nobody can dispute that. Do you know, friends, it is he who advocated the Constituent Assembly that Sanskrit should be the national language. And it is he who said, if you want to you want to remove the casteism and all kind of things, make the education universal, teach Sanskrit. Let them go to the root, know the thing, and let them come to their judgment. Then, if it is bad, throw it out to the dustbin. If it is good, accept it. That is what our duty. Develop scientific temper. Where is that said in the Constitution? Is it not? Scientific temper. You should develop a scientific temperament. What is the scientific temperament? Judge. Come to your conclusion. No imposition of things. We don't impose. Never you can impose. Of course, we can cite many dichotomies there. Interpolations. And further he says, judging a text which was written some thousands of years ago, standing here may be injustice. It is true that everything said, not relevant to today, not applicable today, but few things are operative and relevant even now. Let me deal with that afterwards. Next one, Manu, this is one. I take up him, I quote him again. Then Yajnavalkya. In the students of personal, especially Hindu law, I just make one line statement. The Hindu law you study today in the form of statute, Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession Act, whatever, especially Hindu Succession Act, on law of inheritance and succession, whatever it is, it is 100% based on Mitakshara and Yajnavalkya. It is the first country, if you want to speak on feminism, Hindu jurisprudence and feminism, it is the soil of India, Bharat, which gave equal right to the daughter also. The property rights. Yes. Please read the original text Mitakshara by Vijnaneshwar. What a scientific document it is. Okay? It is there. Yes, property. Based on what? One philosophy. Uttabam swayarjitam, madhyamam pitrarjitam, putrarjitam kanishtancha, stri vittam adhamadhamam. That's it. Simple. Whatever you earn, it is your absolute property. That is uttam, it is a first order. You can do anything. Self-acquired property can do anything. Correct? Even today, that is the law. Madhyamam pitrarjitam. So far as pitrarjitam, ancestral property is concerned, you do not have absolute right. Correct? Because others do have right in that. Correct? But that is the second order. If you say, I got 100 crores money, he said, who earned? My father. Then you have not earned. It is your father, right? Go. That is the second order. Putrarjitam kanishtancha. If you say, hey, my son has got an Audi car, is it yours? My son. Kanishtancha. No. That is why father is not in class 1. Not a class 1 year. Father doesn't get it. Have studied that. Is father there in class 1? Strevittam adhamamam. What is that? Property in the hands of woman is not adhama. If you expect any property from a woman, you should not expect any property. She is three dhana there. What is her absolute property? She can do anything. Where you find this, sir? Where you find this philosophy, you tell me. Whether your Hindu jurisprudence is today relevant or irrelevant. If you adapt this today, I think properly in spirit and letters, you can bring down the family disputes to the extent of 50% or more. Okay, I can have one more lecture some other day on this. Yes, friends. Next we go to the core principles of the Hindu jurisprudence. Normally, we go for 4 things. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Purushartha, Vipadam. And in any smritis, you find Achara, Vyavahara and Prajna. These 3 parts of Hindu. One part you leave it. It is on religious or spiritual kind of things. That is not very, very relevant for us. Come to Vyavahara and Prayaschitta. There you find all kind of things what are relevant. Okay? Administration, kingship, all kind of things. That should be read along with Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, the 4 things. Now for jurisprudence purpose, we remove Moksha and instead of that we put Danda. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Danda, we put Danda. What will be that? Let me precise that. Dharma. Dharma is something what holds the entire society. There are many facets to Dharma. Madam made one statement. When we say Hindu, Dharma, is that not? You are looking at that. In one way interpretation, Dharma is nothing but way of life. In the perspective, fine. Otherwise, Dharma is not religion. Religion is not Dharma. No, it is different. Secondly, this Dharma more clearly says, Dharmo rakshite rakshitaha. How he says? Dharma eva hato hamti, dharmo rakshite rakshitaha. Second part, tasma dharmo na hantivyo, mano dharmo hato vadito. If you protect Dharma, Dharma is righteousness. Let us say, for our purpose, righteousness. It distinguishes right from wrong. What is right, you follow it. Whether it is your personal life, or family life, or social life, or administration, governance, whatever it is. Fine. If you follow it, that protects you. If you respect law, law protects you. If you disrespect the law, cannot protect you. Correct? Simple logic. If you spoil Dharma, Dharma will spoil. Simple. If you don't follow law, law takes its course of action. Politicians say, law takes its course of action. Law does its job. Okay, fine. How many of you know the Jaya Vakya of Supreme Court? They are budding lawyers. Chief Justice sits there, behind him. It is written. Like something written on this, our Vidhana Saudha, Kayakave Kailasa. Something written. How many of you know it? Anyone? Yes, madam? Excellent. Excellent. What is the meaning of that? Where there is Dharma, there is victory. Right, is it not? Is it the creation of Supreme Court? That is Hindu jurisprudence. Simple. It is not delivering a judgment on the basis of some technicality and some clauses. I studied interpretation, different kinds of interpretations, or literal interpretations. When criminal law comes, you should go for strict interpretations. When social legislations come, you should go for liberal interpretation or beneficial constructions. So all these things are said, fine, that is there. But Dharma is something different. My professor used to say, while teaching this, look, interpretation is something like a dream girl. Okay, just imagine, that's it. But not a reality. Not a reality. Now, great teachers, they are all great teachers. It is something different. You interpret according to your nose, that's it. Supreme Chief Justice of Supreme Court interprets that. Is that the ultimate truth? Nowhere. Next judge will come and he will overrule that. But dharma cannot take shifts like that. Nyaya is different, dharma is different. Nyaya is different, dharma is different. There is one small story, and of course, I convert that into the present day connotation. Sir, one of your friends will come and tell, Guru, yesterday, I went to village and my parents have seen a girl. I have seen that girl, saw that, marriage fixed this and that. You congratulate him. Okay, excellent, good, congrats. Date, next month 30th, sir, marriage. Done, very good. Party done, everything over. Next day you come. Your friend, I heard something, you are from the same village? Yes, I am from the same village. And I told your neighbor to that girl? Yes. You know her? Yes, I know her. No, I got some information that someone has advised me not to marry her. She has got a very bad history, this and that. Now, see the role of dharma here. If you tell the truth, that girl cannot even dream the marriage in her life. If you lie, you are deceiving your own close friend because he made a statement. If you say yes, I marry her. If you say no, I don't marry her. You think of your responsibility. No. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat, satyam priyam. That comes to your rescue now. You should tell the truth. What a truth? Satyam bruyat, satyam vada. Priyam vada. Na vada satyam priyam, na bruyat satyam priyam. Never tell the truth which will produce unpleasant results. If you go for balancing the values, it is balancing the values here. You study that in your Western jurisprudence. Look, is it not? That is better. Tell her, friend, why you are worrying? Never want to look at the past of any person. Even she will not look into your past. I know what your past is. Go and simply marry. Why you are worrying for these things? You are not answering to his question. You are just asking him to marry. Done. Have you done any adharma? You have done dharma. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Their yuddha is not killing the people, destroying the properties in that. Dharma yuddham. A yuddha to uphold dharma, where you have to finish the evil persons and uphold. This is how it comes. Friends, then the next. Bhadadaranya Gopachakyan says, dharma is the king of kings. Please relate that to modern philosophy. All of you have studied that the constitutional and administrative law. Remember Dicey? Law is supreme, right? Rule of law, one word. Law is supreme. Then you call constitution as supreme. Correct? When? 1 century before? 2 centuries? 3 centuries? When they said this? 4,000 years before. Law is the king of kings. King is there to implement law, not to make law. This I am going to make an analysis between West and East. My dear friends, I partially agree with Madam now for the reason jurisprudence appears to be very tough because the values being taught there, the theories being taught there are not, you do not know them. What you have learned in your life through customs, practices, this, that is something new. It is not. It is something alien to you. Therefore, it is difficult for you to understand. There what happens in one line, they all give first place to the positive law. That is their approach. That is man-made law. Law is the command of the sovereign. The political sovereign, any law flows down from the political sovereign where people should follow it. Then you come to social contract theory, this and that, Hobbes, Locke or whatever it is, still like that. Right. Here in Eastern concept, Hindu concept, approach is different. What is the approach? There, the concentration of king's power. Here is not that. King is subject to the law. Law is above the king. Their law is below the king. This is the major difference between our approach and that approach. Okay, fine. Next, friends. Of course, All India Radio has made it their emblem. So how much time will we have? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? No, not like that. If you have got schedule, I should not bore the students also. So thank you. No problem. Thank you. Thank you. How many of you know AIR? Please explain AIR. All India Reporter. Correct? Huh? Correct? All India Reporter. You are not wrong. You are right. But my AIR is something different. All India Radio. Once upon a time, the only media, all India, the entire India, united and eager to listen the morning, that tune, 5:30. You can hear that. That starts with, Yeah. Beautiful. And radio. Do you know what is that? Bahujana Hitaya Bahujana Sukhaya. Bahujana Hitaya Bahujana Sukhaya. See, Sanskrit stuff. Who said? You are not studying Sanskrit. You just follow it. Can you make out the meaning of it? Bahujana Hitaya. Bahujana Sukhaya. Is that it? Come to Bentham. Samnabhanam theory. You go to a law. Which law? What law? What kind of law? When it is going to benefit the majority, go for that law. Is it not? When Bentham said that, we teach that only in the classroom. Keep the Salmon jurisprudence, Fitzgerald edition, and teach our students Bentham. Theory of Bentham, one question for 16 marks. Isn't? Why we are not teaching this? Why our students do not know this? The basic philosophy is this. The king is supposed to administer law, keeping in mind Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya. Very simple. Fine. Ultimately what happens? One or two may suffer. It is always there. It is always there. Bahujana Sukhaya. That should be his objective. That should be his objective, and that is how the king is supposed to administer laws. My friends, and ultimately, I wish to say, how many of you know, at least heard the name of Henry Maine? Right? Now, in his great treatise, Earlier History of Institutions, quote, Hindu law has oldest pedigree of any known systems of jurisprudence. And even now, it shows no signs of decrepitude. Unquote. Sometimes we have developed a psychology, something told by foreigner means something great. If we say, if Gurudat says that nobody respects, if same thing said by, add some name, Mr. Francis, sir, yes sir, quote, and even you bring that and have that on your wall, quote. We don't go for this. We don't go for this. He made says, even today it has no signs of decrepitude, means it will not disappear. Such strong roots the Hindu jurisprudence has. Reason I take. I conclude my lecture with that. My dear friends, when we speak of some jurisprudence, law and kind of things, something being taught in the classroom and society, found in the form of statutes or case laws, this and that one part. In Indian soil, what has happened? The basic values of law, basic values of jurisprudence are being taught, not even taught. It is heard, learned in the day-to-day life. I tell you one or two examples. You have not read Ramayana entirely, or not being taught in any classroom, but you know Ramayana, you know Mahabharata, you know the role played by Rama, Ravana, what is good, what is bad, and how through some drama or some nataka in villages, they used to have beautiful drama throughout the night. Even today that culture is there. Yakshagana, is it not? And music. There it is said. You say you should not go for next marriage when your wife is there. We call that monogamy. If we say Eka Patni Vratastha, we don't understand. What is that, sir? Monogamy. Oh, it is that, sir. Okay, I got it. You got, oh, is that, sir? He said, when? Not now. When Anjaneya, Hanumanta I call otherwise, entered into the premises, the court of Ravana, when he was about to be arrested, kind of things, what Vibhishana, the minister, what advises? You want to punish him, death penalty. He says, no, he is an ambassador. Ambassador should be treated in a dignified way. You cannot do it. He did not allow the Rama to do it. Instead of that, he wanted to, sacrifice the ego. Okay, burn his tail or whatever it is. Main point to be observed here is how you should treat the enemy's ambassador. Again, Angada visits a very good treatment he gives. Same thing when Krishna represents the Pandavas and visits Kauravas, how he was asked to treat him. You see that? Yes, please read Mahabharata. You know it is very well. Yuddha used to take place, war used to take place only during daytime. After sunset, there should not be any war. Afterwards, the warriors were allowed to mix. They used to talk, exchange the kind of things. It is there now. In international law, please read them. You know these things. Therefore, it need not be taught again and again in any classroom. However, I am of the concerted opinion that it is a high time to revisit our curriculum. At least we as harbingers of justice, we as the carriers of justice or distributors of justice, we do carry a very big responsibility in the society. Of course, law is not a static water, stagnant water. It keeps flowing. If you uphold the basic values of the family, society, at individual level, at the collective level, and give some strength of law, effect will be something different. In the curriculum, especially in jurisprudence, I think stalwarts are here on the platform. At least some aspects of so-called Hindu jurisprudence, wherever is necessary, we can expose you on these kind of things. However, there is no depth for material, even social media, or else if you use it, anything. You just go and chat GPT, say, a summary on Hindu jurisprudence, you get the information. Relevance of Hindu jurisprudence in modern day, that gives answer for that also. At least read that. And the last comment, my dear friends, nothing is a strong nut to break. Knowledge, how it follows, I have got a favorite topic with me. Always I said that in the class. Abhyasanagata vidya buddhi karmanusarini. Very simple. Abhyasa anugata vidya. How much you work, so much you acquire. It follows that you are hard work. Buddhi karma said, for that no scientific reason. How intelligent a person is. See, one reading is sufficient to madam, 2 readings are required to this madam, 3 readings are required to that madam, hundreds of readings not sufficient to this madam. We can't say why it happens, but one thing, If you want to sharpen the weapon, your knife, you keep rubbing it. It's the same process. Read, 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 read. Expose yourself. Keep your ears and eyes open. Don't be biased. Don't be biased. Of course, we should feel proud of our culture, our antiquity, and many, many great scholars, whether it's Dr. Radhakrishnan, or if you come to legal field, you mention the stalwarts, the advocates like Soli Sorabji, Ram Jetmalani. I had personal interaction with Ram Jetmalani. Many people do not know. He used to quote many Sanskrit shlokas. He used to say, many a times I argue, people do not know from where I get my strength and my source. I get the strength from these Sanskrit text. He used to say, he has shared that with me in person. I get this Gurudat, I know various strength, but people do not know. People do not read. Please develop the habit of reading and keep interaction with the persons who have achieved something, who know something, and ultimately you rule the world. India, so today we are celebrating Vishwa Yoga Day, right? And we call ourselves Vishwa Guru. Yes, my dear friends, always we pray. We start with that and we end up with that. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You take Jain philosophy, you take Buddhist philosophy, they all tell this one. Ultimately, go for ahimsa. No ahimsa. That's what your Prime Minister says. This is not the time for war. Don't war yourself. Don't read that politically. I don't want your political dialogue here. No, it's a fact. That is the philosophy of India. That is the philosophy. That is the jurisprudence. Okay, fine. I do not know how much justice I could be able to do to the topic given. My lecture ends with a statement that Hindu jurisprudence is indigenous and never it will disappear. It has got strong roots where you all, the beneficiaries, and carry the cost. Thank you for the opportunity given to the trust, sir, your trust and Bangalore University, prestigious university, oldest university, where my very good senior friend Kutino was here, and my friend Satish Gowda is here, Dashad sir, Sudesh, all madam, you are in the safe hands. May God bless you all. Thank you, thank you.
Student friends, if there are any questions, please, for some time we can ask questions. But the question should not be in form of comment. It should be question, short and brief.
Sir, in the eyes of law, co-personary property is, you touched upon the aspect of property in your lecture as well. Co-personary property is one of the last vestiges of the Hindu joint family that is present in the eyes of law today. And vis-a-vis the uniform civil code debate that is happening in recent times, how do you view the relevance or the growth of, or the sustenance even, of Hindu jurisprudence when it comes to property or co-personary property vis-a-vis the uniform civil code debate that's happening today?
Yeah. See, so far as co-personary rights and law on succession, inheritance, partition, the kind of things, lot of water has flown under things. Under the